Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James. Time for another game for my personals. This one's going to be from the Labor Day Tournament 2022, and this one was against Andy Smith, one of the masters here from San Antonio, although he has moved over to Corpus Christi. It's been a while since we played, and man, he is such an aggressive chess player. I knew it was going to be fireworks on the board. And in this game, I got the white pieces, luckily, so let's go for it. Here I started out with e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and I shouldn't have expected this from him. And he always chooses really solid, but always a little bit, obscure openings. So he decides to play pawn f5 and goes in for the Schliemann attack. And man, I really wish I had more defense prep for this one. Here I did not play the main move, which is most popular at least, which is pawn to d3, as I figured he would most likely know a lot of these lines pretty well. Here I remembered an old line, and so I decided to choose that one, and I went ahead and went knight c3 here. He played knight f6, I played pawn to d4, again trying to throw him off. Now this is definitely not the best move in the position. With that being said, I just want to try and throw him off from what he's used to. And well, it's black to move here. Can you find the way for black to get a small advantage here? All right, what happened in the game? In the game, e takes d4 got played, and this is actually the right way to play so far. I went ahead and played knight takes, and here you're supposed to play knight takes d4. This gives me the advantage. Here he was supposed to play f takes on e4, which I had seen, but I thought that this was going to be okay for me. Although after looking at this, it looks like a lot of players that played this and got winning positions. Even Nepo over here played this as f takes e4 with a 60% win rate. With that being said, computer gives it about even, but again, I felt pretty confident in my position here. I most likely was going to play like bishop g5 and just, castle, and I like that I have a little bit of opening advantage toward him as far as development goes. Again, when you're playing Andy, he's a very aggressive chess player. You don't want to give him any extra hold on you. But here, unfortunately, he missed the best move, and he played knight takes d4. And now white is actually better now. I went ahead and played queen takes d4. Pawn c6, another mistake. Here to keep the game, I'd say a little bit more evenish, I definitely would have suggested something like f takes on e4. Even then, here I do have an advantage. With that being said, maybe c6 was the best just because it's trying to mix things up. Remember, whenever things are bad for you in a position, trying to mix things up is best because complications can make your opponent make a wrong move, right? Rather, when you're in a winning position, you want to maintain this and you just want to keep playing chess as usual, not get crazy at all because, complications will lead to mistakes for you. So here you played c6 and white to move. What do you play here to get the advantage? Again, I do encourage you to push pause. Hopefully you're doing this. Here, after white plays pawn e5, this is just a plus 1.8 advantage here for white. And here, the idea is pretty simple here. And a lot of times in these openings, if you get pawn e5 in to attack the knight, this is just bad for them because it's not that the knight gets attacked so much, it's just that there's nowhere good for the knight to go. And this is going to keep their king in the center for longer. In the game, he went ahead and just played knight e4 gambling. And I think, again, maybe this is the best choice to play. Just to show you, though, real quick, after pawn takes over here, you simply just take back. And if he wants to go into this endgame, he can with queen takes f6. I'd be more than happy to. Queen takes, pawn takes, and then I have knight takes b5 here. And you can see with this messed up pawn structure, yes, he does have the bishop pair, but white has a pretty clean advantage here. Especially because next move, well, knight c7 check is something that you really just can't stop. It just gets into a very, very bad position here. All right, back to the game. And the same thing goes, you can play g takes f6 here, but now the opening is just definitely won here, and I have a big middle game advantage. So in the game, he mixed things up, and he went ahead and played the knight to e4. I mean, if you really want to play your knight back to g8, you're more than welcome to. I have an advantage here. Knight g4, same thing here. There's actually a few different moves you could play here. I could play pawn h3 here. Computer's giving f3 is a little bit more of an advantage. And after the knight moves, you can simply just take or just move the bishop back, which is probably what I would have done there. All right, back to the game. Knight e4, knight takes, and then just bishop c4 here. And man, you can definitely tell how strong this is. I'm about to win my pawn back. I've got a pawn in the center, and I got a bishop develop, and my queen is very, very well placed. Here he played pawn d5. Again, he's just gambling the pawns because he knows that if he doesn't do anything, then I will definitely take advantage of this. En passant, of course, bishop takes d6. And then here I played queen takes g7. Rook f8. And here I thought for a long time, and I did not find the best continuation here. Here I was just supposed to play queen takes h7. go pawn grabbing, and after something like queen f6, queen h5 check, and just kind of defend everything. And yeah, no, I had seen this line, but I just didn't like it. I was really obsessed with trying to win this really fast. It was just really hard. I really wanted to cast a queen side, but I was finding it very hard to do that. For instance, if you play something like bishop g5, here I did not like queen a5 check. And, well, you got to be careful here. If you play pawn c3, I was worried about bishop e5 here with this kind of bishop takes c3 idea. Now I see I was just blind, and queen e7 checkmate is just a move here. So here is just a very complicated position, and I was not able to calculate everything I need to. And here I just played badly. I played bishop d2, losing the advantage. Queen f6, queen takes, rook takes. I mean, I guess losing the advantage is too strong a word, but I will say that there was much better way to play. I'm up an extra pawn here, and I didn't play the best middle game move. It's still a really good endgame, although I do get into a little bit of trouble later on too. Bishop e3 to defend the pawn, b5, bishop e2, bishop e5, castles queenside, bishop e6, king b1, pawn to a6, and pawn c3. The start to a bad plan here. I was thinking about playing b3, c4 to give me an open line. Although I have an open file here, well, I really can't get in. And, well, these pawns over here, I was hoping to push them, but it became kind of hard for me, especially after this pawn move the bishop going to d5. And this is where I was really struggling, is like I really wanted to play f3 here, but I saw that he can simply just go bishop d5. And, well, after takes here, the only refutation to this is to play rook he1, which, I mean, it would have been a satisfying position to see the bishops all lined up here. Maybe I should have just done it like that. But here, again, I wasn't too sure of the position. And I'm playing just not aggressive enough. I'm really just letting Andy get everything he wants here. So I played c3. He played bishop d5. Now there are no more f4 moves. And this is exactly where I should have been trying to play, because this is where I have my extra pawn, right? 2 pawns versus the 3 means I get a pass pawn. I played rook c1. And Andy plays a very nice move here, rook b8, saying, hey, Jesse, if you do try to play c4 here, I'm going to take. And then, well, rook takes b2 is going to be on the game. So I played pawn b3, pawn a5, king c2, and here my position gets bad, a4. All of a sudden now, well, he has a lot of active play here, and I'm not up a pawn anymore as far as computer is concerned. Here he's actually doing really good by creating counterplay. All right, what do I do now? I played rook b1 here, and another bad move, rook a8. And what do you play in this position? Again, this position was just becoming very hard for me. Now there's variations like pawn takes, check. And again, if you're not paying attention, you play something like h3. Then a takes, rook check. And king going back to d1 just looks very bad for me. And so, well, what do you do now? Rook b2 is losing a pawn by force. Rook takes, king takes, pawn c3 here. Ugh. I guess you could try bishop c3, but this is just losing, right? What do you play here? Bishop takes, pawn takes, and rook takes on f2. That was one of the problems. I can't change my dark square bishop up because it guards the f2 pawn. And if that rook gets in there, it's just game over. A lot of variations like this I was looking at, and here it took me forever. And, well, I found one of the best ways to defend against this, believe it or not, it's to play rook b2 here. And I'm pretty sure Andy had solved the idea of playing pawn to b4, but this is exactly what I want. After c takes, let's say bishop takes, king takes, a takes b3, a takes b3. These bishops actually do a really good job holding down the position. And the rooks, I don't see how they can penetrate. Here, white actually has the advantage with the +1. This is what I was hoping for, but of course Andy was not going to make my life easy. After I played my rook b2 move, he went ahead and played king d7. Well, we're both starting to get low on time here. I played rook d1, king c7, and unfortunately here he missed the win of a pawn. White to move and win a pawn. What do you play here? Here I got to play bishop takes on b5. And, well, at this point he played a takes, and then he just went ahead and resigned. I think it was a little bit premature to resign like this, but I think that Andy was also tired. It was a long day. This was our third round that day, and it was game 90 with 30-second increment. But that being said, white does have a good advantage here, and with good play, they should be able to win. Especially if you do the main line, which is pawn takes, rook takes. Well, more pawns look like they're going to fall pretty fast here. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this game. We'll see you in the next one.